We all step into mazes when we chase our dreams. And we think that reaching the other side is really what the goal is, but we're wrong. The mazes break you down, builds you back up. It teaches you that you aren't really ready for what you want. The struggle is what makes you ready. When you finally emerge, everything you worked for is yours, but you end up seeing it. More mazes stretching into the horizon. It was only level 1. Today and every day we stand at another entrance, another maze, another version of ourselves waiting on the other side. But all we have to do is take a leap. All we have to do is die to our old self once again. The question isn't whether we're ready for our dreams. It's whether we're ready to become the person we need to be to achieve.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today, for here am I sitting in a tin can.
This is honestly like refueling. Like this gets me excited.
Fast forward July.
Fast forward July. Look at that. Dude, I'm like a little giddy. I've been in New York. I've never been to the financial district. Fearless girl.
Let's get to that statue, boy.
That statue.
You know, when Trade Path gets on the exchange.
Yeah, wait, yeah. Can we get a, yeah.
They change out, not the American flags, but they'll add
That's
flag
crazy.
logos.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New
I wish we could have gotten
York.
more footage, but in the stock exchange, it was really, really sick. Talked with multiple market makers and discussing how their edge has shifted over the last 30 years. And 9/11 was like a really big pivot point where regulation, because the majority of market makers, they had a massive edge because all of the relationships on the floor of what they made money on was bringing buyers and sellers where they could see okay, this person wants to, buy 100 shares, but I know oh, David at the other, across the floor actually has a seller wanting to sell. Oh wait, maybe we can get these people to, be a part of an opportunity, and then they make commission on that opportunity. But their edge had one thing I realized, and I'll tell you guys, is the idea that market makers stop out orders is completely false. He said they were maybe back in 2004 that was the case, so they could actually understand stop orders. But because algorithms right now run the entire market, even the market makers and people on the floor are getting destroyed. They really don't even have an edge anymore because the regulations, the FCC regulations of what the market makers are allowed to do and the people on the floor is extremely limited because they basically regulated the fuck out of them. They can't do anything. So a lot of the times, they're looking at 200, 300 stocks, looking for, moves and understanding, hey, can we bring this down, buy back up from the bid? They're managing spreads, tightening them. the type of trading like I do on like YouTube and just myself and like that you guys see is so completely different than what the floor traders do. And you know what I was talking with him also about is the future of like AI and retail trading algorithms, where what happens when you have an auction market that has for so many years been traded through psychological decision making and a little bit of time and sales, a little bit of algorithms, but now completely switching to an algorithm. And what they're already starting to see in price action within individual stocks. Now, this is probably different for equities and futures, but the price action is a lot more fluctuated. Big, one-off moves happening within the market, a lot more unpredictable, because what happens is even the floor traders are losing because they have a keyboard, and on that keyboard, they like in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and a lot of them don't even use it anymore. And the reason they don't use it is because it has latency. And there's microsecond algorithms that the firms use, and the firms that are managing a lot of the capital that gets put into the market that is actually causing these moves are recognizing these orders microseconds before anybody else can even react to it. So a lot of the times the opportunity for retail traders is gone, because as soon as they press a button, before that order even gets filled, they can know what happens, any news, like literally anything. There are microsecond high frequency algorithms that are ran by firms that will immediately fuck them. So it's really interesting to see, like, a lot of people think that market makers actually have an edge. It kind of seems to me that they have the least amount of edge out of everybody. They've gone from having the most edge to the least edge because of all the regulations, all the technology that has been inputted within the floor compared to when it was in the 90s and early 2000s. And a lot of them say that 9/11 was a big turning point where it kind of started to shift. And they say, like, they don't make as much money at all, not even nearly as close from what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. And a lot of them have been there for a long time. But seeing the culture of it and like actualizing it and being a trader for so long, like trading to me has always just been like numbers on a screen. I haven't really actualized like it in my brain of like the stock exchange and the history of it. But being at the stock exchange and like seeing the floor and talking with people that have been there for a long time and seeing the history and like the tour of it is really, really cool to see. Like really, really cool. I'm very, very happy I was able to go and talk to these people. Like Peter Tuchman, like the Einstein of Wall Street, some other people on the floor, some of the rooms. We met the president of the entire stock exchange. So it was really, 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 really cool. Definitely gives me even more motivation. Like coming so far into like your trading career, it starts to become like boring. But like I feel like this kind of gave me a little pep in my step for trading. Yeah, a little like re-spark of trading and like wanting to even push it further. So, I'm very grateful. I thank them for inviting me out and being able to come see them.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
I'm kind of torn between a couple options here. Not really. Maybe a little bit, but I don't like anything that with like spicy in its name as the ramen. Probably not. Man, is it because you don't like the no pork broth?
No, is it pork broth? Like, what is it? Chicken broth?
Miso? Yeah. Miso's miso. Show you ramen. This looks insane. It's just so light and like really good.
direction and the mirror's reflection. I'm a dancing with myself when there's no one else inside. In the crowded lonely night. Well, I lived so long for my love vibration, and I'm dancing with myself. Dancing with myself.
Yo, my technical ability is
When there's nothing to lose and there's nothing to prove, but I'm dancing with myself.
You're not confident in it, and then when it fails, you don't like what I've found is confidence in the perspective of like thinking you're right and then correcting it yourself when you see you're wrong. Like in the moment you should be very confident you're right, because the more that you go back and forth, the more it affects the original decision. What's up, man? And look here.
Alright.
Thanks, man. It's good to meet you.
Of course. Because I got it when I was
Yeah,
gonna be the first one next time.
Go.
Wow. Wow. Both?
Yeah, typically we have like a lot of things, but we sold out of a lot today.
He's telling me to do both.
No, I'm giving you the cookie, bro.
You're getting the cookie?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be sad you didn't get two of each.
This is all.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Take a bite into that thing.
Wow.
Perfect exterior,
Wow.
interior.
Wow. That might be one of the best cookies I've ever had.
Like, not to overhype this at all.
No overhype.
They do this right.
If I had a glass of milk. And you know what's crazy too? When somebody says, wow, that's a great cookie, you say, how good can a cookie be? I just found out how good a cookie can be.
Looking in my mirror took me by surprise. I can't help but see you running often through my mind, helpless like a baby since you're